It's the final countdown. Dun-dun-dun-dun. 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 Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Hello, and today we're doing the final FPL preview of the season. It's the FPL preview for game week number 38. Get the white flags out. It all ends here. I say the white flags, I mean the checkered flags. This is it, the final countdown, and this is the last game week. We just gotta give it all we can, and let's just go for it. It's the time to chase those mini leagues, see what you can do to end up on the season. The aim, 250k, and we had a good game week last time, so we need to follow it up with another green arrow and hopefully get those targets. And talking of targets and Aston Villa, they'll be trying to do their best to stop Chelsea, maybe even beat Chelsea, 2-1 or 1-0. But Ollie Watkins has been in amazing form, and he's now surpassed the likes of Gabby Agbonlahor and Dion Dublin in terms of goals in the Premier League for Villa. So he's been amazing for me. But we need that green arrow. We can't rest on our laurels. And we've done an interesting transfer, which I wasn't going to originally do, but sometimes these things change. So let's talk us through the first lineup then, shall we? For this game week 38. And in goal, we have got Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez, the Argentinian baller. He's been amazing, Emiliano, this season. And Villa haven't at times been incredible all season defensively, but their attacking form has been fantastic. And they have kept a few clean sheets, and it's been all down to him. They've really improved on last season after finishing 17th. What an improvement. It looks like they're going to at least finish about 11th. So, yeah, it is a really good season for them. And you got to say, Dean Smith has done a great job in bringing in Martinez, who's just been a perfect FPL asset. And I think the best goalie of the season. So, yeah, all right, he's playing Chelsea, but I don't mind. I think Martinez can just do his thing. He can just get some bonus points, get some save points. If he gets a clean sheet, it's a bonus. But we know with Martinez, he's been so good this season, and we might as well give him a final hurrah. Now we've got in defence Trent Alexander-ARNOLD up against Crystal Palace. Good fixture again. Palace are so leaky, and Trent, he's got so much attacking potential. He is brilliant this season. He's really ended it with a bang. So let's hope for some more points from Trent. Dallas, West Brom, what a nice fixture once again. And Stuart Dallas has been the man this season. And the last few weeks, we've just not benched him because why risk it? He gets goals, and West Brom is another great chance for him to do that. Obviously, got the assist in the reverse fixture, but let's hope for a little bit more this time from Duke Dallas, the Lundstrom of this season that I called at the start of the season, Stuart Dallas. Then we've got Nat Phillips, also against Crystal Palace. Now, I did bench him last week, I have to admit. But it was fair enough because I thought Burnley were going to score. Didn't feel like the double up was necessary. But what goes and happens, he goes and gets his first Premier League goal. So I didn't expect the goal threat, and he got a goal. So we got unlucky there, but it is what it is. We miss out on the 13-point haul. It's still a green arrow, but now we're going to play him because I think Palace might even be a team that really struggle because Christian Benteke's got a injury doubt, and he's been, their main source of goals recently. Eberechi Eze's out, as we've known for a couple of days, out for the most of 2021. And Wilfried Zaha, he's not going to do much. So it looks like all the odds will be in Liverpool's favour, and they need to win this to get Champions League or Europa League. So I think clean sheet's coming for Alisson. He's had a great season, and I think Phillips recently has been putting in some amazing performances. So who's to say he won't get another attacking return? But let's hope it's happening this time when we play him. But I think the double up on the Liverpool defence this week seems right. And to bench Phillips again and he goes and gets a big haul, I won't be having that. So he starts in this final game of the season. And then next to him, we've got our transfer in. One of them, at least this week. And that is selling Luca Digne and bringing in ALIOSKI. That's right. ALIOSKI is in the team. And the reason for that is he's just very attacking, and he's got a great fixture against West Brom. Might as well. And Digne had a pretty awful fixture. Now, the issue I had was between Digne and Diaz. So Diaz, fair enough, he's been amazing this season, but City don't really care at this point. They've done their job and they're just going to rotate. So there's always that worry if Diaz doesn't play. And also, Everton's not the easiest of fixtures for Man City, but you'd still imagine they'd win that because they've been so good this season. But Ruben Diaz, we don't know he's going to play. And then Luca Digne, we've got a feeling he'll play, but it's a really tough fixture. And I just don't want that really for me to have to do with. He got the assist against, who was it now? Was it Sheffield? No, Aston Villa at Goodison Park, and then loads of bonus points. But I don't see bonus points coming this week. Very unlikely against Man City. And you could say, oh yeah, you should get rid of Diaz because of the Champions League and that he might get rested. Okay, he might do, but the fixture's still not good for Luca Digne, and it's 1 week to go. Let's just get in ALIOSKI for Luca Digne, who's got a really nice fixture. And ALIOSKI's so attacking, he's going to go for this one. West Brom are going to be opened up, and of course Leeds playing at home in front of their fans. So I think that's the first time that Leeds fans have actually been able to see their team, unless there was maybe a game or two when fans got back in November. But it's been a long time for Leeds fans, so this will really give ALIOSKI the lift to get the clean sheet and to get the goal, I believe, in Eshkian ALIOSKI, the North Macedonian baller. Then in midfield, we've got Jack Harrison. We brought him in last week. Not ideal. Everyone brought him in. It looked like a really good transfer, and then he didn't do anything against Southampton. But we go again this week, and hopefully he can end the season on a bang. He scored an absolute worldie of a strike at times this season against Newcastle, and he did score, of course, a very nicely taken goal away to West Brom. So I've got faith in Harrison. I think he's going to be a really good player for this final day of the season, and why not put the vice captaincy on him, because the fixture is lovely. So I just back Harrison to get points. So maybe if captaincy doesn't go to plan and someone doesn't play, Harrison to pick up the scraps. Then we've got in midfield Bruno Fernandes. Now people can say, oh, you should captain Bruno, but I've just not got that surety with him. He's not ended the season amazingly. He's, struggled for goals recently, and if they're not penalties, then they're not going to get goals, so unfortunately for Bruno. But he did get the jammiest of assists last week against Fulham. It's just not an assist. It's as simple as that. He doesn't touch the ball, but we'll take it. We really will take it. But Wolves away is interesting because it's Nuno Espirito Santo's last game, so he'll want to go out on a bang. But also, we've got the Europa League final coming up for Man United. So will Bruno play? The thing is, with Man United, whenever Bruno doesn't play, they can't get into games. They can't actually play well. So you feel as though he'll at least start the game, but he might get subbed off early, which is a little bit annoying. But let's hope what he does play for, he will be good enough to get some goals, because he's still a very, very good player on his day. And Wolves have been quite leaky defensively this season. So I'd back him to maybe get some points in the minutes he's got, rather than some players we've got on our benches who aren't that, attacking and haven't got as good of a fixture. Then next up, we've got our next transfer in this week, Sadio Mane. It's got to be done. Now, it was going to be Salah, all week. It was going to be Salah. Yep, it had to be Salah. Salah's got to come in, final day of the season. He wants the golden boot. But let me just tell you this now, people. We've given it all we could. And what I think is, Mane is better than Salah, and Harrison is better than Rafinha. So why switch around between them? Just get in Mane. Don't need to bother with Salah. I know that people have got him, and I know they're going to captain him, but I think Mane's a bit more differential, a bit more, good, and just equally as, plausible as Salah. So why not go with Sadio Mane? He often scores against Crystal Palace, and it took a substitute from Mo Salah to score in that Palace game away from home. We captained him that week, so we don't have to have him this week to captain. But I'm just fancying Mane. I think it's a bit differential, and he's going to end the season well, hopefully. So why not? Sadio Mane is coming in for the midfielder that is Son Heung-min, because the fixture is awful against Leicester and Son's not been good. But it's going to be Mane as captain, because we just fancy that fixture against Palace. I think Liverpool will go for that. And for all I could say, Palace could win that. It seems to be written in the stars a little bit, because it's Roy Hodgson's last Crystal Palace game. And of course, he goes to his former team, Liverpool, at Anfield. But now I'm still backing Mane. I think he's going to end the season strong. So come on, Sadio. The Senegalese baller is my captain. Next is Jesse Lingard, and he faces Southampton. Now, it was a bit of a debate, I've got to be honest. I mentioned in my last game week preview that I kept WARD-PROWSE because I still think he can come in handy. Now, if we have a nightmare and someone like Fernandes doesn't play, or Kane doesn't play, for example, I don't know why wouldn't, but just, say that happened, we've got them on the bench to come in. So we've gone with Lingard over WARD-PROWSE just because I think he's going to be more attacking, and West Ham have to go for this. Southampton haven't got much of a motivation behind this game. West Ham have to go for it to try and sneak into Champions League, but most likely they'll be securing Europa League. So, yeah, it's an important game for West Ham, and Jay Lings is going to be at the forefront of that. And I just feel like Southampton are more leaky than West Ham are. West Ham, yeah, they've had a few defensive problems, but that's been unfortunate for them because the likes of Cresswell injured and, goalkeepers getting injured, and Randolph had to play against West Brom. But I just think Jay Lings is so good right now, and that's why I'm starting him with that fixture, and let's hope he can, do some important stuff and some good stuff for my FPL team for West Ham on the final day. Next, we have in the front forward position, it's Michail Antonio. Once again, against Southampton, and he was absolutely brilliant against West Brom. It's what you love to see, that link up between Jay Lings and Antonio, and hopefully Antonio will continue to be the one finishing off Jay Lings' assists. But with Antonio, he is still very strong, and I've got to say, he's got to be a contender for one of the strikers of the season, because he just has so many purple patches, and this time of the season is just one of those. He likes to get in the groove and get some points in FPL, and yeah, I'm just going to back him. He did well against West Brom. Who's to say he won't against Southampton? Let's go with the West Ham double up in attack. Then the next striker is Harry Kane. Yeah, I had to probably sell one of Son or Kane this week because Leicester is a tough fixture in itself, but Harry Kane is going for the Golden Boot. So, it's his final Spurs game, in inverted commas. We don't know if they're going to keep him, but he doesn't want to leave. He does want to leave, I should say. He doesn't want to stay, and therefore he'll try and force his way out. I don't know, but it could, inverted commas, asterisks, be his last game. So he wants to go out on a bang. He wants to get that Europa League. He wants to get Europa League, yeah, but the Golden Boot especially. So I remember a few seasons back, Leicester, they might just bottle. I think they might get Europa League, but they could still get Champions League. It's just they might still bottle it like last season. And I remember that Kane scored 4 goals away from home a few seasons back against Leicester at the King Power. So, that's interesting. Kane does often score versus Leicester, and I just back Kane over Son just because of the form and the Golden Boot motive. But Son has scored a few good goals in his time against Leicester. I'll always remember that absolute rasper 17-18 season, or maybe 18-19. But he just put it top bins. But Kane is still very solid, still wants to go fresh into the Euros, and still wants to end the season on a high. So he's certainly not a bad FPL asset to have. Maybe the captain, but it's a tough fixture, so I'm not going to go for it. And Spurs haven't shown very consistent form for much of this season. So I'm backing Sadio Mane for the captaincy. Now we've got the bench. Edouard Mendy is first on there. The reason for that, I just don't feel like Chelsea are going to keep a clean sheet in that one. I feel like Villa could nick a goal. And I don't think that's going to be Ollie Watkins, because I've got Ollie Watkins first on my bench. Now, Watkins could easily score, but I just don't see it, because that could be a very interesting game. Obviously, Villa at home have actually beaten a few of the big boys, and Chelsea need that result to try and just secure Champions League. They're in a good position. It's in their hands. But I just don't feel like Mendy against Aston Villa will have a easy game. And if he doesn't play, then fantastic. We've seen a lot of Kepa being rotated as well. So, yeah, you can say, all right, Martinez versus Chelsea, Mendy versus Villa, there's no difference. But actually there is. And I know you'll say, the fixture's better for Mendy. But I think the points potential and the points ceiling, perhaps better for Martinez because of Villa's home form this season. And, of course, you've got to factor in home fans. They're going to support Martinez all the way. There's no Chelsea fans. So that could play a role. I don't know. But it's ultimately tight. It is what it is. We were thinking about actually selling one of these expensive goalies and then making up the money to get Salah in. But I don't need Salah. I don't think he's essential for me. I think Mane can do enough for me. And he can, make up for that. He can cover the Liverpool attack. But we were thinking about it. So in order to get Salah in, we'd get in like a second goalie that was just awful, just to sit on the bench. Someone like Jed Steer or Lee Grant from Man United. And let's hope that Grant, if he, had to come into my team, or anyway, these players will grant my wishes and we can steer ourselves to victory, to the path of victory, to the direction we want to go, which is 250k, top 250k. That would be amazing. But we know, of course, anything we do this season is a record because it's our best FPL finish. 1,027,000 was our previous best. So it is a great season and we just got to hope we can, clinch a few of our mini leagues. I think we should be able to, but let's just keep on trying to win those leagues and trying to get up those game week ranks. So, yeah, so Watkins first on the bench. It is a tough fixture, and he has scored against top six before. I mentioned at the start of the video his, Aston Villa history, but I just feel like Chelsea will kind of keep it tight, and that's why I think maybe a 0-0 could be on the horizon. Perfect for Martinez. And maybe Mendy doesn't play, maybe Kepa plays, but I just fancy Martinez with the home advantage, and I just don't think Watkins will score this time. But he did well when I played him and put faith in him against Spurs. So, it's good to see him score, but now he can alternate. Second on our bench is James Ward-Prowse, and I really did think about it, to be honest, because we didn't use him last week. Good decision, because of course he blanked. But it's an interesting fixture. West Ham are going to be pushing up, trying to go for it against Southampton for the, European hopes. And that's going to leave spaces in behind for Ward-Prowse. Now, Ward-Prowse does play quite deep, but he gets free kicks, he gets, penalties. And to be fair, I could see a few of those coming. But I just don't think that, this week is going to be the week for Ward-Prowse. I could be wrong, but I'm going to leave him second on my bench. And Watkins first on my bench. If we have any, players not playing, I think he's the best player to come in because he's got that goal threat. He can seem to score against anyone. So, yeah, I think you've got to back the attacker in that situation. And Watkins is playing further forward, more likely for goals than Ward-Prowse. And we wrap things up with our third player on the bench, and that is Ruben Diaz. So it wraps up a -4 hit. And Ruben Diaz is on the third bench because we are unsure about that Man City game. Is he going to play? Fair enough, he could. And I actually do predict Man City to win that with a clean sheet. But it's just too uncertain. Pep Guardiola, he just needs to leave it out. Like, I might actually do this thing where, I have a Pep-free season in FPL next time because it's too much stress. I know they're one of the best teams in the league, but it's just like, I can't be dealing with it, honestly. But Ruben Diaz has been amazing this season and, voted by the BBC and the players' writers of the best player of the season, fully deserved. He's had an amazing season with Man City, and let's hope he can carry some of that form for Portugal in the Euros. But Everton is not a bad fixture, but Everton are quite good away from home, so that's a little bit of a worry. And Diaz did just concede 3 to Brighton, so I don't know, it might be a risk to play him, but it also could be a decent shout of a clean sheet / goal. But I'm not feeling it this week. I think Trent, Dallas, Phillips and Alioski are much more essential to start this week. And as I said with Watkins and Ward-Prowse, tough fixture versus not much goal threat. So that is my team locked in for game week 38, the final game week. I was planning on doing a Kind Master video, so basically using the app, using all the special effects on my phone, but just haven't had the time. So, it is what it is. But just to quickly recap before we end it there, it is a -4 hit, and that will be hopefully not too much of a hit. I was thinking about the -8, to be fair, to get in Salah, but as we said, I don't think Salah is essential. I think a lot of people will be captaining him, fair enough. But if you've got some other differentials, fair enough. It's not one way or the other. You can do what you like at this point. So, yeah, that is my team. 2,260 overall points. We're ranked at 305,771. So, I'm just going to have a quick look and try and crunch the numbers, basically. I want to get up to 250k. So, I said earlier in the week I might have to get like an 80-point score, which is pretty sticky, to be fair. But at that rank that I am right now, let's just look at how many points away we are from that, ideal scenario of game week rank not game week rank, overall rank, 250k. So from 250k, well, from 300k, we're actually just one. Well, hang on, let me work this out. So post auto subs, we're 1 point off 300k. So that's why we're sitting where we are in 305. So we're very close to 300k, but it's just the way it works. But 200k, we need 31 points. But that's obviously as it stands before the game week's started. So it's basically somewhere in between 1 and 31 points. So yeah, basically it's about 15 points. It's not going to happen, is it? I mean, that I don't know. I think it could, but we just need a really big game week, basically. And to get that kind of green arrow, to get an increase of, you know, you're looking at about 45k increase, 50k increase. That is tough. So we'll do what we can, but, you know, 60k, 55k is going to be tough to kind of make that gap and try and get there. But it's still a good season. We said at the start of the season we were trying to get 600k, and we absolutely smashed that one. So you've got to be happy with this season. Simple as that, my friends. So that is game week preview done and dusted. I think my team's looking nice, locked in, and Alioski is the man. Alioski it is. Let's hope he gets some points, and let's hope it's also some points for Sadio Mane as the captain. I've seen a few people doing it. I think it is a decent shout. In terms of some defenders that I think will be interesting for this week, Trent, Dallas, maybe Rudiger, if he plays, of course. Who knows with the Tuchel tombola. Vladimir Kufau, Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Cresswell, Robertson, Alioski, and of course, Nat Phillips. Of course, we own a few of those. So, you know, we've got to keep the faith. We've got to keep the faith and believe in our own decision making. But yeah, that is the game week locked in, people. So smash a like on the video. Subscribe for more content in this FPL season. We will do, of course, a review of that game week and look at our final standings for the season. That will be juicy stuff. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.